Welcome to Edison's new series, Real Assets in an Uncertain World. We live in an era of increasing geopolitical instability, higher inflation, and tightening monetary policy. Can investing in real assets provide sustainable, less correlated returns? Industry leaders from sectors such as renewables, infrastructure, media and technology are joining us to reveal their views and deliver actionable insights for a global audience. In this session, we're looking at Foresight Solar, which invests in a diversified portfolio of ground-based solar photovoltaics and battery storage assets in the UK and internationally. And joining me is Ross Driver, Director of Foresight's infrastructure team, and Ricardo Pineiro, co-head of infrastructure. So first of all, Ricardo, why are solar funds an attractive asset class?
In our view, we believe it's an attractive asset class because mainly it offers a strong and reliable yield to investors. It's funds that have been trading in the market for a significant number of years, invest in a technology that is tried and tested. It's a reliable source of energy, and more importantly as well, it offers a path for the energy transition that most governments at the moment are focusing on. And we believe solar has a key role to play in achieving those goals following the objective of the Paris Agreement. For that reason, we believe it can offer a correlated return to investors, especially in periods of high volatility in the markets like the ones we're seeing at the moment. We believe for all those reasons, we believe solar funds are an important asset class, is an important element of any portfolio, and gives, again, that high yield element that can be beneficial to investors in the long run.
And are you seeing increasing interest since the war in Ukraine?
It's been an interesting period, I would say. I think the key focus from our perspective is to join the discussion around security of supply. I think that's a very important aspect of what is being discussed at the moment. And from that perspective, we believe solar, as other renewable technologies, will have a key role to play in supporting the UK government and other governments in Europe in achieving a more reliable energy sources that also support the energy transition process that we're experiencing at the moment.
I mean, Ross, it's certainly focused people's minds, hasn't it?
I think definitely. And I think in terms of where we're looking to in the sort of broader energy mix, which we can get onto in talking about that, and energy security, it's right up there at the top of the agenda at the moment.
So expand on that a bit, if you would, Ross. How does solar energy fit into the overall energy mix now? And where do you think this is going in the future?
Sure. Well, if we start in the UK and our home market, in a way, you look at it, there's an ambition out there. We've got about 14 gigawatts of solar in total at the moment, with plans that have been put forward in the British Energy Security Strategy to grow that by about 5-fold by 2035. So we're talking a significant amount, up to about 70 gigawatts there. And we feel that makes sense. The solar technologies themselves are dominated over the past decade. You've got the weighted average levelized cost has dropped by about 85% for solar panels. It is one of the cheapest forms of renewable energy to actually put out there, and it's relatively quick as well. I think it's also very timely at the moment with the talk about the energy security strategy. I think we feel solar can play an important part of that. It's a good hedge alongside wind as well. We look at it like that we have seen over the last couple of summers that wind hasn't always blown. It's a great resource out there for this country, but also typically the sun does come up every day. So that's one way we see it as being pretty reliable. And we also think the addition of co-located battery storage will be an increasingly important part of the mix here. So we're talking about...
Explain what you mean by co-located battery storage.
So this will be battery storage co-locating a battery storage project alongside a solar park at the moment, when it's built. And we think actually there is opportunity in certain places to retrofit that storage onto existing plants. The idea being that when the solar farms are producing at their highest production levels, is typically during the middle of the day when the sun's at its highest, which doesn't always correspond with the peak times of demand, which are usually in the morning or the afternoon or the rush hour home. So actually what you can do is charge up the battery to during those peak times and then release it into the grid at the point of when the peak demand is. So we're seeing that actually the new projects that are being looked at, and there's a large pipeline now of projects coming through that are the truly designed co-located projects from the outset that will look to capture on this. And we see that as a very exciting opportunity now.
So Ricardo, there are other solar funds. You're not the only one out there, but what's your strategy at Foresight, and how is it different from the other solar funds?
Well, our strategy since the beginning was to deliver a well-diversified portfolio to investors, focus on the strong yield component that this sector can offer, and try to find accretive opportunities for the fund to continue to grow while continuing to delivering as well the target returns that we are aiming for investors. I think so far we've been extremely successful. We have paid all our dividends on target since IPO in 2013. So we have a strong track record of deliverability of returns. And we'll continue to do that as well, very much focused on our sustainable approach to the market. That's at the core of what Foresight does. I will continue to try to push those boundaries forward, to try to become even more sustainable moving forward, trying to integrate our supply chains as much as possible in that process in order to continue to deliver those returns, but at the same time, delivering the objectives that our investors continue to focus on as well in terms of that energy transition and sustainable approach to the market. We have a very large team focus in the market. We have expertise in all areas from origination, investment, and asset management. We are a one-stop shop essentially to provide the best possible service when it comes to solar investments and asset management. So I think that is what we're trying to achieve. That's what we're aiming for, and I think that's what we've been delivering over the past almost 10 years now of existence of the fund.
Now, Ross mentioned the UK government strategy. How does your strategy dovetail with that UK global clean energy initiatives and targets that they outline in their strategy?
I think we can provide support to that strategy. As Ross was mentioning, is a significant amount of investment that will be required to achieve the numbers, including in the energy security strategy paper. Most of that investment will have to come from the private sector. We provide access, essentially, to capital that can accelerate the deployment of renewable projects, in this case, solar, which we believe, again, will have a key role in the UK being successful in transitioning and increasing the levels of energy security in the upcoming decade, essentially. And that's our role. I think we'll try to continue to allow the sector to increase. We're working closely with our counterparties, developers of projects, companies that build the equipment in the UK, and providing that route to market, essentially, to channel capital into the sector that will be absolutely required if we want to be successful in deploying those levels of energy generation.
And finally, Ross, is Foresight a fund for income or for growth-seeking investors?
Thanks for that, Vivienne. It's look, FSFL out there, Foresight Solar, looks to offer a very strong and reliable yield. And I think we say that ourselves, but also the solar sector as a whole is delivering about a circa 6% yield across the DIM. There aren't many other sectors for that sort of level of risk and return. Like we go back to, this is a proven, reliable technology. It's one of its benefits is that it's relatively simple and straightforward. And for the same level of risk and reward to get that kind of return elsewhere, and especially as interest rates may be rising, but they're still pretty low at the moment, it's not easy to find that level of risk reward balance. So I think our primary objective is on offering yield to investors in the fund. Most of the investors that we have are yield seeking, strong, stable, reliable, hitting that dividend and providing strong dividend cover. But I'd also say at the same time, there's opportunity for upside growth there. And especially with some of the new sectors that we're looking into. So the returns on, we're more of a subsidy-free market now, obviously, particularly in the UK, but other jurisdictions that we're looking at. And those tend to offer returns that are accretive to what the investment is at the moment, and also the opportunities that we have in battery storage as well. So we'd say it's predominantly a stable, reliable yield fund, but with the opportunity for increased growth in the future as well.
And the sun is shining for Foresight. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming to talk to us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vivienne.